Wow. Okay, kids, I think you're all leaving. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Good job, Quest. I just am amazed that it's taken 10 years for that song to be sung at this theater. So, that is from the Broadway musical Pippin, written by a very dear friend of mine, Stephen Schwartz. And it's the classic I want song. Do you know what an I want song is? Oh, it's what it says it is. It's the song in a musical where the main character gets up and tells you what they want, so that now you can follow their journey throughout the musical and watch whether they get it or not. Some musicals, they get it. Other musicals, like West Side Story, they die. So, or Miss Saigon, or Phantom of the Opera, all of those musicals, the depressing ones. So you get to decide today, what musical are you in, right? So the classic I want song, every single one of us wants something. We have an I want, and Connie's over here going, you bet you're, right? We all have something that we want, and the story of your life is the journey it will take from the I want to the, and there it is, and so it is. And you know what? We are trained to live this scenario. We're trained to come up with what it is we think we're supposed to be, who we're supposed to be, what we want, what will define us in our life, and then set out to make those things happen. And last week I talked to you about, the idea of being authentic, which is that recognizing what you want to do and then doing it. But I didn't say it was about going towards the journey of getting something. Being authentic is really the understanding what you want to do and then doing it, living in it, in this moment, not waiting for it to happen, not doing everything you have to do to get it to happen, but accepting it now and then doing it now. So the question I had when I was looking at this song is, what happens when you don't know what you want to do? What happens when you don't know exactly what you want to do? I've had a number of people tell me that they're not exactly sure what it is they want to do. And when asked, what do you do if you don't know what to do? And I'll tell you what I finally understood. If I don't know what I want to do, how about if I just take the time and be who I know I am? And not get all caught up in the what I want to do. But how about living from that place of knowing who I am, and that my job is just to be happy, just to be filled with joy. Maybe I don't know what I want to do, but I can certainly go to the beach and look at the ocean and feel joyous. How many of you saw the sunrise this morning? Yeah, there you go. I did. I was up. Thank you, Johnny. You saw it. Johnny and I were up, and we watched the sunrise together. It was lovely. It was spectacular. And it was so funny because I woke up and there it was, because I live in a fishbowl, it's all glass. And I woke up and there it was, and it was this orange and pink and yellow and red sky, all crackles of it. It was like this incredible mosaic. And I turned, I said, Kevin, look at the sky. And I watched him keep his eyes closed and go, it's beautiful. But then he said to me, I already woke up before you and saw it and went back to sleep. So there you go. So at any time of the day or night of your life, you can decide to be happy. And you can decide to live in that. So I want to go to these lyrics. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Got to find my corner of the sky. When I was 20 years old, I went and saw my first Broadway show, and it was Pippin. And I remember sitting there, someone took me for my birthday while I was in college, and I remember sitting there and watching the character of Pippin go through this journey, this huge journey from, oh my God, I'm like this nerd in a kingdom, all the way through to understanding, wait, life is really about stripping it all away and actually standing in my life and enjoying it. And I loved, because Irene Ryan, do y'all remember Irene Ryan? that Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies, she got to sing the song, "Oh, it's time to start living," the one Dana sang here a few months ago, right? And just watching this woman in her 80s, I think at that time, sing, "Oh, it's time to start living." A 20-year-old's going, something's wrong with that. What is that about? But it's true. As I'm getting closer to that age, it's true. It is always time to start living. So, the lyrics, so many men seem destined to settle for something small, but I won't rest until I know I'll have it all. You know what, though? I won't rest until I know I'll have it all. The real journey in life isn't moving towards that someday when I'll have it all. And how many of you have gotten caught in that? Working so hard to move towards that day when everything's going to make sense. Everything's going to come true. I'm going to have all the money I need. I'm going to be where I want to be. I'll be in the perfect relationship. There is that day, and moving towards that day. That's not it, kid. That ain't it. The real journey is moving toward the truth that we already do have it all. Do you see the difference in those two conscious ideas? There's an someday I'm going to have it all, and I already do have it all. And then when I already know and know that I already do have it all, it starts to appear. My prosperity just starts to appear. This morning in CPR, I said that it's really important to have a healthy mental diet of positive thinking, of spiritual logic. And then I said, don't snack on lack. Now just think about that. How many times during the day do you snack on lack? Or just a little thought comes up, oh, I'll take a little bite of that. Oh, that's a problem. Oh, let me take a little bite of, oh, that may not happen. Let me take a little bite of, oh, my mother said that would happen. Right? Snack on lack. So that's what we have to wake up to. That's what this theme is all about, being awake to the truth, right? So the title of my talk today is Cornering the Market. And I had no idea why that was my title. Cornering the market, but that was my title. And then I started working with it and playing with it. Cornering the market means this. You have the controlling shares of a stock or a company. So if you're cornering the market, you have the controlling shares, the controlling stocks in some particular company. Now, the question I have for you this morning is this. If your mind were a corporation, who would hold the controlling shares of stocks to your mind? Who would hold the controlling shares of thoughts and beliefs in your mind? Now, I know you all think, well, it's my mind and my thoughts, but who's really controlling them? Who's controlling the beliefs in your mind? Because let's face it, they're running your life. Your beliefs are running your life. Your beliefs are your corporation. So who is the major shareholder in your mind? Les Brown said this, too many of us are not living our dreams because we're living our fears. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we're living our fears. Caressa talked about it. I would bet most of us sleep with lions. Most of us have many things that we live with that can be scary in our mind. The question is, who's dealing with them? And what are you dealing with them from? We have given over the controlling shares of our mind to things like fear and doubt and uncertainty and confusion and whatever you want to say. Whatever works for you, whatever you can identify, you have given over the controlling shares of your mind to something because your life is the way it is. Now, what I'd also like to know is many of you have perhaps given over the controlling shares of your mind to prosperity, success, absolute certainty of who you are. Now, I want you to think about what those corporations are going to do. The corporation that has its major shareholder in fear, where do you think that corporation's going? A corporation that has its major shareholder in prosperity and absolute knowing that I am God, where do you think that corporation's going? And you are a corporation. You are an entity on this planet that has the capacity to do the greatest of things, and the greatest of things is to enjoy your life and then let it unfold. So, are you doing what you need to be doing to take back your shares? Are you working at making sure that your mind is literally being controlled by you? And when I say you, I don't want you to think I'm talking about being controlling, because that doesn't work for anybody. It works for me sometimes, but no, it really doesn't, and I really am getting that. There's a difference between controlling and leading. There is. And you know what that is? Being flexible. A controlling personality is not flexible. A leader must be flexible. Because if you're leading from behind, that's called pushing. But if you're leading from the front, where you know who you are, and you're flexible, that's called leading. So, good, huh? So, it's not about controlling your mind. It's about giving control back to your mind, to you, knowing it's always the God in you that is thinking. So letting that take control of my mind, letting that be the major stockholder in my mind, that's what I want. I want that in me that knows the truth to take charge of my mind, to take control of my mind. And it's me. It's me. Let's not be confused that there's some woo-woo thing out there that I'm going to give over to that. Okay. That's not it. There is that in me that knows what to do. I'm going to give control over to that. Leonardo da Vinci said, I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do. Do. If you are awake, then you must do what is done when you are awake. And that means you have to decide. You have to actually make decisions. You have to decide what you're going to think before something comes up that you have to react to. Did you hear what I just said about that? So you have to make a decision what you believe before something shows up that asks you to believe something else. So for those of you that are experiencing anything financial challenge, any challenges financial, before those show up, you need to know what you know about it. Because if you don't, that shows up, and I very easily say, oh my goodness, my life's gonna fall apart, there's no money. No, what if something shows up like that, but I know who I am? It's like, doesn't matter. My good is absolutely certain. My good is unshakable. That's taking control of your mind. That's the stockholder. And the other stockholders that are saying, oh my God, it's everything, that stockholder, you need to fire. Or, more importantly, buy them out. Because guess what? You gotta have to buy them out. You're gonna have to pay it. You're gonna have to pay it with mental coin to buy this stockholder out. You have to corner the market in your own mind. What I understood after years of listening to this song is that there actually is no corner of the sky. And I think we're looking for one, and we're searching for something that doesn't exist. There's just a big sky, and it's all possible. And you can have any piece you decide. There's no corner that's just yours. There's just a corner that's yours right now because you've decided to take it. And if we can get out of the idea that there is something meant for me to do, we might actually start doing something now because we will just take the step necessary to start living in the moment and enjoying my life. You have the corner of your mental market. And don't be afraid of trying anything, even if it appears you could make a mistake. How many of you are afraid of making mistakes? I love it. Oh, I wish you could have had my perspective on that. 1, 2, 3, 5. They all went up slowly. You know what? I think all of us are afraid of making mistakes to some degree. But I want to say this. Albert Einstein said, a person who never made a mistake never tried anything. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything. And Emerson said, the only person you are destined to become is the one you decide to be. So why not make all the mistakes your heart desires in walking through this life and saying, oh, that'd be fun, and if that ends up being some mistake, which it's not, Ernest Holmes says there are no mistakes. There's just the inevitable output of your mind, and just take this choice, make this choice, make this choice. If it doesn't work out, you're a choice to say, I don't want to do that. It's not a mistake. It's what got me here. right? So, I want to talk about cornering the market of happiness, because that's like the most important thing to me, being happy. That's it. I have a litmus test now. If it doesn't make me happy, I really am not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It has to make me happy. How would you like to live your life knowing that if you had to do something, it had to make you happy? Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Wouldn't you all like to do that? Would you like to know the secret to actually living a life of only doing what makes you happy? Yeah. So would I. So, I actually do have the secret of that. Because here's the deal. You can be happy doing anything. It's not the doing that makes you happy. Happiness is an inside job. I am happy. Now I do what I do. I spent 9 hours in this theater yesterday working on tax things. And I could stand here and say to you, that doesn't make me happy. But you know what? I was cheerful all day. I'm one of those people that actually likes QuickBooks. I actually like sitting in front of I was fine. There's not a thing I have to do in my life that doesn't make me happy. And if it's not making me happy, I can tell you this, I am already looking for the way to eradicate it from my life. And here's the thing about that. You get to do that. You are a choice. There is no corner of the sky for you to work hard to get to. There is an amazing sky like the one I saw this morning that you can live in at all times because it's available at all times. This is not something out there we have to work towards. John Lennon said this, "When I was 5 years old, my mother always told me that happiness was the key of life. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wrote down happy. They told me I didn't understand the assignment. I told them they didn't understand life." I think we may have misunderstood the assignment coming here. As though we were supposed to come here, work hard, and then rest at the end of it all. I got to tell you, I don't want to rest at the end of it all. I like resting now and then. Don't you? I want to know at the end of this all, I am spent up. Yes? I want to know when I'm done, I have sung every song there is. I have danced every dance. I have snorkeled to my heart's content, which is not that much. I have done everything that I've ever wanted to do, and if there's something I wanted to do, I want to say, I'm not ready to leave yet. Let me just finish this up. I want to finish myself up, live myself up, meaning to that unlimited potential, unlimited power. Don't you think it is time for us to reclaim our minds? Yes? Don't you think it's time for you to become the one and only major shareholder in the corporation that is your life? Yes? Say it. Claim it. Yes, it is time that we take back our minds and we start thinking what we want to think. Martin Luther King Jr. said, our lives begin and end the day we become silent about things that matter. So what matters to you? What do you really want to be doing? Really want to be doing? And sometimes I channel Jerry Lewis, I guess. I don't know. You know, what do you really want to be doing? And I don't want to hear from myself ever that thing of, well, I would do that, but, oh my God, get rid of your butts. And get rid of your butts. Right? Get rid of all the buts. Get rid of all the reasons why. Well, I really do want to do, if I had a dime for every person that has said to me, well, this is what I would do if I didn't have to, blah, blah, blah. You're here for, what, 120 years maybe? I want to be middle-aged the rest of my life. So when I'm 100, 200 is how I'm going to be. So I'm now at 120. You know, no matter how old you are, I just want to know that I'm willing to do whatever it is I want to do. We're only here for as long as we are going to be here. What are we waiting for? Really, what are we waiting for? So there was a verse in Pippin. When I moved to New York in 1974, Pippin was a big hit, and I'd just seen it. And the first man I ever fell in love with was playing Pippin, and we were together for like 9 years. So I lived, ate, and breathed Pippin. I was at the theater all the time. I was at the stage door. So I heard everything. And I ended up getting a script of the original Pippin, the original script that Bob Fosse directed, before they actually went into rehearsal. And I got that script. It looked nothing like the show that was on that stage. Bob Fosse took that script and literally tore it into pieces and then put a lot of pelvic moves in and put it on stage and turned it into a gigantic hit. And the revival on Broadway right now is apparently just breathtaking. So the reason why I bring this up is because I was privy to a lot of the lost lyrics, the things that were thrown away. And I have the last verse that Pippin sang in Corner of the Sky, and I want to read it, and it's this. So maybe some misty day you'll waken to find me gone, and far away you'll hear me singing to the dawn, and you'll wonder if I'm happy there, a little more than I've been, and the answer will come back to you like laughter on the wind. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. I got to find my corner of the sky. Well, now that you know that the sky's the limit and there are no corners, it's just infinite possibility, it's time we go back and realize that I have to be where my spirit can run free. I have to be doing and living and being who I am. I have to be free to do and to express all that I am. And so do you. And that's what it means to step into this perfect, perfect identity. Take a deep breath. I want you to ask yourself, where do I feel the freest in my life? Where do I feel the freest in my life? In what state of consciousness do I feel unbridled, like a horse, free horse just racing across a field? Where do I feel like that? Where do I feel like a river rambling, like an eagle flying? What makes me feel that way? And then, rather than answer that question logically, let something bigger than you answer it for you. And once you have an answer, then we go to what we do here. Do it now. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.